I'm back with Doug Mastriano, who's running as a GOP candidate for governor in Pennsylvania. Doug, there was I don't know if you'd call it a controversy or a scandal, but the left tried to go after you some time ago because they found some old photograph, apparently, of you evidently wearing a Confederate outfit, and they were like, this shows that Doug Mastriano has Confederate sympathies. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, this guy's from Pennsylvania, the site of the Gettysburg Battle. I really doubt he has Confederate sympathies. Talk a little bit about that incident, because I want to then go to a broader discussion of the Civil War and our moment in America today.
And I represent the Gettysburg area. That's in my district, by the way. So it's just so hilarious, Dinesh. That's the best they can do. They want to criticize me on the one day that I dress up like a Democrat. Really, guys? So what can I say?
I mean, first of all, as people know, lots of people dress up in both Union and Confederate. They do Civil War reenactments, which occur all over Pennsylvania and Maryland in old Civil War battlefields and so on. And you're a student of history, right? Talk about, leaving aside the incident itself, talk a little bit about, are we at a stage where America today is as divided as it was in the 1850s? I'm not saying we're at the point of a civil war, but I'm saying, are we at the point where there's been a sort of secession of the American mind?
I'm torn on that. So this is probably the most divisive moment since the Civil War. I do believe that we are in a far worse way, in the 1850s and 1860s in the midst of the Civil War. We had an incident, on the floor of the Congress where one Democrat, beat down to death with his cane a Republican congressman. We haven't gone that far, but we are seeing chilling, specters of this. We saw in North Dakota that deranged Democrat, driving down that beautiful young man. We've seen many incidents. The potential assassin of the Republicans at the baseball game was a Bernie supporter. And so we're seeing echoes and shadows. The rhetoric coming out of Biden, I think, is dangerous because it's encouraging, extreme people on his side of the aisle to actually view people who they disagree with as some kind of danger. The irony that, in my case here, somebody who actually physically defended the country and the Constitution for 30 years with my life, unlike all these critics, in the media, would be a danger to the Republic. And it's the same old playbook. We're seeing two things, Dinesh, that's interesting to me this cycle. All Republicans that are a threat to the Democrat agenda or a danger to democracy are too radical and too extreme. And I guess in some ways, I'm extreme on the Constitution, so much so I was willing to lay down my life for it. I'm extreme on our American way of life and our American people that I defended it with my body, in faraway places. So, okay. But on the other side here, we're seeing them also run away from debates. Katie Hobbs does not want to debate Kerry Lake in Arizona. My friend Dan Cox in Maryland, his opponent does not want to debate him. And now my opponent, Josh Shapiro, our failed attorney general, he's running so far from a debate that I can't even keep up where he is now on that issue. I even offered that he could have Donna Brazile give him the answers and the questions, and then I'll take them on even in an open forum if they prefer. And he refuses any format other than a format where he has a far left-wing media person standing in the way of me debating him.
Well, in some ways, let's talk about the media, because I think the reason that these guys act in this way is they want the media to do the work for them. And the media itself is coming from such a position on the far left that anything right of center is described as far right. What do you think? Is there a solution to this kind of lopsidedness of the media, or is it something that as a Republican we just have to live with?
Thank God, Dinesh, there is a way around them. Now we can talk directly to the people, through various social media platforms. We can talk to the people, through you. We also have alternative media sites that aren't extreme left, that are moderate or center right. And so thank God we can take the message around that far left wing media. It's ironic. We have media outlets in Pennsylvania. And this is a fact. Apologies that it's going to sound, conspiratorial, but it's a fact. It's in Salon.com, and I think Politico, they wrote an article this past November. Apparently, this time last year, the Democrat National Committee and Democrat Legislative Campaign Committee blacklisted 21 state-level Republicans, and I was number one on their list, according to the Salon article. And their goal was to hit us hard with a coordinated attack from the media, from the New York Times, from the Atlantic, from LA Times, from the Washington Post, and CNN and MSNBC with the same messaging, too dangerous, too radical. And I wondered why, Dinesh, this time last year, that I was hearing the same thing from all these outlets. I was, this is bizarre. And it was not a pleasant experience, by the way. Somebody, retired Army colonel, with a respected name and a great career. But they did a poll in November, and that's when this all came out in the Salon article. It was basically, we hit Mastriano with our best shot, and we made him more popular in Pennsylvania. Perhaps these ad hominem attacks aren't working. But what else do they have?
Well, Doug, I certainly wish you well. Pennsylvania is a critically important state, and you're running a great campaign. So I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for joining the podcast.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.